So in an effort to be social, I recently joined a cookbook club, and basically this club meets and tries out recipes from a cookbook. So I'm going to my first one tomorrow, and I'm prepping the food now. Now, I will say that this recipe does call for a couple of things that I could not find, and so I'm substituting as best I'm able and making good judgments based upon what I know, but a crab dip does not necessarily need fresh crab, and so I'm using canned crab. Cat thinks this is for her, and it is decidedly not. Cat won't eat tuna. It's cat food. But the second I start opening cans of crab, all of a sudden we're a seafood connoisseur. This mixture, we're adding 1 softened block of cream cheese. If I can get it out of the thing. Calls for 1/4 cup of mayonnaise, so I'm just gonna stick the 1/4 cup right in here. We're gonna level it off and dump that in. Now this part of the recipe calls for a 1/4 cup of finely diced pimentos. So I have diced pimentos, but finely diced, I think these are not. And it calls for a 1/4 cup of them, which I'm gonna have a giggle if this is the whole jar. The next part of this recipe calls for 2 tablespoons of Calabrian chilies. I could not find that, and so I'm subbing sriracha, which I googled and said could be subbed for it. And then the recipe calls for a 1/2 cup of finely chopped scallions, which means 3 stalks, including the whites. Let's try the food processor with the onions. See, part of the problem with making cooking videos is that, like, my kitchen is not set up for filming. Not that anyone's kitchen is set up for filming. In theory, it's for, you know, cooking food. Right. Food processing, the onions. And then the final ingredient here is a teaspoon of Old Bay. My coworker very kindly gave me a small bag of Old Bay rather than me go out and buy a whole thing for one recipe. We're gonna go, that seems like too much for a teaspoon. We're gonna go, I don't have measuring spoons, which would make this whole process a little bit easier. Okay, let's hope that this baking dish is sufficient for the volume of crab dip. So we're just gonna even that out. Might put some cheese on top of it and broil it just at the very end, so it's got kind of a crispy crust to it, but that's going to be it for today.